Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap morning pre-market analysis and trade plan setup for Monday, June the 23rd, 2014. My name is Doug McKay, and I am the founder and head moderator of Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap is not a commercial venture. It is a private group of traders. We have a private Skype room that's been around. It'll be 5 years in a couple months. And if you're interested in checking us out, you will need a Skype account. You can send a Skype contact request to Doug_McKay. I'll be the one from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Of course, you can send an email to me at d.mckay@stealthtrader.com. Each morning we come together in a live go-to, and we go through the my analysis, and we look at the macro to the micro and the key numbers, and macro to the micro and the different trends on the different time frames, and then we get into eventually market structure and what our hypotheses are for the day, and picking our trade levels and our targets for the possible rotations. If you are watching this on YouTube after the fact, you might want to skip ahead, but we cannot skip because we're preparing for the trading day, so we have to go through a normal daily routine. But before we do anything, we have to get the legals out of the way, so let's do the yada 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 stuff. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand their knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves the risk of loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to the financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence and trade your own trade plan. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got. Now it's Monday, so you know I like to start Mondays looking at the COT report. So let's go take a look at the COT report. So on this chart we have the ES, which is this red line right there, and then we have the small spec, and then we have the commercial paper, and then we have the large spec. And we've been talking about something that happens and something to pay attention to is this line right here is the zero line. And you can see that commercial paper and large spec have gone negative on the Commitment of Trader report. The only segment that is still net long is the small spec, and this is generally indicative of a blow-off top. And if you don't think that this is a blow-off top yet, well, then you haven't seen very many blow-off tops, because this is a blow-off top. How high we go is going to be the real question right now. Unfortunately, we just went in and put a new all-time high in the Globex at 1959.75. So I don't think we are done with these highs. Doesn't mean that we can't get a rotation, but the COT report is telling us that the smart money has left the building, and don't get too long into this. Look and understand that the risk is right now to the upside, but we can very quickly flip around. We've gone a lot of days. You can see going back to this day right here, or this week I should say right here, we've just had an incredible run, and you'll see that more on the daily report as we take a look at that and take a look at the different time frames. So let's look at the numbers from yesterday. Of course, we've now gone in and put a new high in at 1959.75. So we have a new all-time high. We also have a new all-time high on the month. And of course, we have it on the quarter as well. So really, I mean, that's the big number above us. Our month open is all the way down at 1921.25. Don't think it's going to come into play today. And there's really you've got your previous month high and that all-time high put in June up at 1954.50, but I think, you know, that 55, 50, and 56 and a quarter that we put in is going to take more precedence to that. So there's levels that I'll show you above that. So nothing else on the macro numbers. So let's take a look at what happened on Friday. You can see that we're back into this trend. We had this incredible 14, 15-day run, and then we had a little bit of a 3-day retracement, but not very big, and then they're back into the move to the upside. In Friday's Globex session, we opened up at 49. We had that high put in at 1956.75. You can see that you know, they're putting these highs in the Globex. You know, every time they go up and make a new all-time high, they're doing it in the Globex. You've got to pay attention to that, because that's something that seems to be happening more and more lately. Our Globex low on Friday's session, 48 and a quarter, and then we opened auction in range at 1955.50 for an open auction out of range. Now we did get a very low probability day. We had a normal day. We did not break the IB to the upside or to the downside. We basically had a 3.5 point range all day on Friday. And, you know, it was options expiration, and if you go back to Friday's video, I was, you know, basically saying, you know, you're more likely to just take the day off and let options expiration, quad witching, go behind us before we did. There's no reason to put money at risk on Friday. There's just nothing there. Our opening swing high, 55.50, opening swing low, 52.50 for a 3-point opening swing, leading us to, you know, probability of a rotational day. All our intraday numbers were all higher. Our 1230 number, central, all numbers in here are central, 52.50, our high 55.50, our low 52, and then we closed at 52.75, and our VPOC shifted up to 1953. And you can see now we've got a, you know, basically a 6-day run again on this upward trend in this blow-off top. Our 20-day ATRs continue to coil, meaning we got a big move coming. You know, we thought that this blow-off top, they've just been grinding it higher, grinding it on lower ranges, and this again is indicative to a blow-off top and a big move coming. And I think the big move, you know, is going to be the downside, but whether or not we've done the upside yet is still to be questioned. So our 20-day ATRs on the RTH is now under 10 at 9.84. Just over 11.5 on the full session, and just under 6.5 on the Globex. And again, you can see that these numbers, sub 10 on the RTH, has been seen for outside of a holiday. Geez, how far back? Look at this. I don't see one number under 10. Oh, there we go. All the way back to February the 20th of 2013. You know, since we've had a 20-day ATR range under 10. So that's and then look what happened when we did that last year. We'll go back and take a look at that in a minute. So just ranges are continuing to coil, and we're likely to break out. Our value area high for yesterday, 53, our value area low, value area high was 55, value area low was 53, and of course we didn't break the IB, so we did not have an IB break time. And then we did this on lighter volume, and that's, you know, that's not surprising considering it was quad witching day. Going over to the daily report, currently right now our full session high put in the Globex is 59.75 and our full session low at 52. That gives us a 20-day ATR target to the upside at 1963.50 and to the downside 1948. And these numbers actually coincide pretty good with some other confluence levels. Taking a look at the news today, really isn't much there until 8:45 Central, 9:45 Eastern. We've got flash manufacturing, but the big one's going to be existing home sales at 9 Central 10 Eastern Time. Just want to take a quick look at where we've got resistance above us. Right now, our pivot is at 1943 on the weekly, 1952.92 on the daily, and 1898.50 on the monthly. And our resistance levels above, and we're looking at these because we've got no structure up here to look at. We've got resistance 1 on the daily, 1957.50. On the weekly, 1967.25, and on the monthly, we're already above that R1 pivot at resistance 1 on the monthly at 1942.75. So, I mean, it looks like, for us, the first key level above us is going to be, this 57.50. with that all-time high at 59.75. So let's take a look at the macro to the micro in terms of trends. You can see we've got great slope and separation on the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA. This trend is very much intact and just seems never ending on the monthly. But the trend is still there. On the weekly, same thing. You've got, good slope and separation now. It's still showing me that we've got some upside to this blow off top. We just went in and put a new all-time high in, and the Globex not likely to leave that alone and get any major retrace. Doesn't mean that we can't come down and close this gap still on the weekly and still not invalidate the upward trend on the weekly. That would take us all the way down to that 1918, 1917 level, and we still don't violate the trend on the weekly. On the daily, same thing. We came down, we closed out this technical gap. It came down, tested the 20 SMA, held the 20 SMA, broke back up above the gap, and now we've got slope and separation and prices paralleling the 9 EMA. The daily still looks strong to the upside. Of course, going over to the geometric chart, we still have that energy point up at 69.25. Well, we've got a measured move at 69, but we've got, you can't see the energy point because it's below this bubble right here. But the energy point is right here at this it's actually 1969, 1968.25, thereabouts. But, we're paralleling and testing this center line of the smaller term upward sloping fork, but continuing to hold below it. A break above 1959.75, so a retest of that center line is going to take you up to the all-time high that was just put in the Globex. But if we break above that, then you can look today for a possibility of going up and testing this 1964.75 level, which would be a test of the upward sloping intermediate time frame fork and test the upper line. And then just above that is the center line of the long-term upward sloping fork, and that on a move today would take us up to 1969.50. And that's that measured move that we're talking about. If we reject the center line of the smaller time frame chart and we get a rotation down, possible rotation, would be down to test the lower line. I don't think it's going to be today, but that gives you that 1937.50, 1937.25 level. All right, so let's take a look at the intraday trends coming into the RTH session. You can see that we've, kind of have a bit of a top. We've got a possible head and shoulder pattern setting up on the 4-hour. We're sitting right on top of the 9 EMA on the 4-hour. If we break below that, we could see a move down towards 1950 area. And the key level I'm watching today is going to be that 1952, and you'll see that on the composite. But the trend is still valid on the 4-hour, even though we've lost some slope and separation. and we're getting a bit of consolidation right now. We could still come up and see a right shoulder put in here in the next few sessions in the 4-hour, up around that 1956, 1957. I'm thinking it's going to be 57.50 personally. Going to the 30-minute, a little bit of a different story. Looks like we've topped out, had a beautiful foo-bar, Mr. Sneaky Tech Gap that got closed out and took out the, left this naked cross here. Then, this is actually quite symmetrical, came down, did another tech gap down here, came back, closed out the naked cross right here, and then we've rejected that and we've come down, and right now we're struggling to get back above the 9 EMA, and we've got a bit of a consolidation, possible start. They can, if they fail off of this 9 EMA and break below, and we close below it on this candle, we could get some retrace into the open. But we are going to open outside of range from Friday, or just inside of range, just outside of value. So we've got to watch for initiative buyers coming in. Let's just go down one more time frame. So 15-minute really doesn't show us any difference there. Let's go down to 5-minute. 5-minute, again, same thing, just consolidation. So we don't have any clear indication of a trend other on the 4-hour on the intradays. So let's take a look at the big picture. Going up to the composite. Okay, so we broke out of this major balance in around the 1858. Broke out, came up here, and then the first level, the accepted value, once we broke out, is down here at 1902, but the one we're paying attention to right here is this 1914.50. They broke out, they found accepted value there, they broke out of it, and they went up and made an all-time new high at 1947.50. That's that 1954.75 adjusted to the RTH contract. Tried to hold value here at, let me just bring this to the front. Try to hold value here at 1939.50, 1940 area. Couldn't hold value. What did we do? We moved back down towards that 1914. Found buyers just above the CLVN. They really stepped in here at this 1918.75 area. You can see on the microcomposite, that's them stepping in right there. And then they rotated back up, accepted value higher at 1929.50, and then went and put a new all-time high in, and trying to hold value in the last couple days on the breakout up here at 1949.25. Currently, we went up on Friday, made the all-time new high, adjusted the two levels. We kept on talking about the fact that we had that 54.75 put in the June contract all-time high and the 1947.50 adjusted high, and all last week I said that 54.75 is going to get taken out in the RTH. It has to. They have to go equalize those highs. Well, it doesn't have to, but the probabilities lean towards it. And then now we are trading up there. We've got a distribution around 53. The key level is the CLVN at 52. If we break below 52, then we're likely to get a bigger rotation down towards this 49.25, possibly come down and test some lower levels. So let's take a look at the overnight and start moving our numbers over to our chart. So currently right now we have a new all-time high, and overnight high at 59.75. We have an overnight low at 1952, which is right at, this is important because you've got 52.25 from the range high on Thursday, which we rejected on Friday. They only broke inside of it by one tick, okay, and we ended up with a normal day. They didn't break below that range low on Friday, and we have to watch the range high on Thursday, and that's right at that CLVN, and now is also our overnight low. So there's so much riding on this 1952 right now, and we've got to pay attention to it. Our current volume point of control for the Globex is 1954, so just inside of value from Friday, so 1954. Come on. All right, so we don't need this anymore. The overnight inventory is still net long. All right, so inventory is net long, although we do have some selling coming in after going up and hit that 59.75. So right now, if we opened, we're going to open up inside of range, the range high at 55.50, and inside of value, 1955, and we're going to be in a pretty decent bell curve. So it is going to be choppy on the open, and there's really not a lot you can do between this 1955 and this 1953. Really, everything is going to hinge on this 52 today. So I mean, there's if you wanted to try to get short off of this, I'd say you'd have to get short off of this 55 value area high. I think you can also take a long out of here at 55 for at least a test to go up and test the 55.50. But personally, the way I would be trading this is I would use this for a short. If we come up here on the open and responsive sellers step in at the value area high and we reject that, get short, okay, into taking out the naked close and the naked VPOC. The naked close is down here at 52.75 with 53 right here, and we're likely to come down and test this 52. So 52 is going to be the other side of balance. I don't think that the value area low is going to hold in this circumstance because I think we've got too much riding on this this 52, and if we stay inside of value, they're likely to push through that value area low just to test the range low from Friday and the range high from Thursday at 52.25. So I would really be targeting 52.75 area below here. But if we break above, I would wait until we get above this 55.50. And then if we get above 55.50, we've got that first target right there at 57.50. So you want to get in, get funded, and then we've got the next big target above us is the overnight high at 1959.75. And that would be where I would, and our all-time high, I would look for a responsive move from the sellers to rotate us back down. But if we break above this, I mean, there's really nothing above us until we get to that 63.50, I'm sorry. And then we've got that 66, if you remember that from the prior week, and then 75. Well, we got 69.50 as well. And again, up here, if you're not already long, like I said, anytime you've got overhead risk to the upside with nothing to guide you, you really, the move is you're in on the breakout and you're long into your initial targets and you're holding, to see, if you get continuation. Is there anywhere you should look to fade this? The only place I would really try to do the fade would be 59.75, and that would be it. But I think it's still a dangerous trade. The better trade to short is, a rejection of the value area high and a move down off of that, or if we move up and we come back inside and get below the value area. So the play to the top side is above 55. If we get above and we come back in, then you can take the short. below the the 55 for a rotation down. But the first trade to look for on the open is this 55, likely. And again, you have to wait for a possible push through to 55. So don't try to just get short at I'm sorry, 55.50. Don't try to get short right at the first test of 55. Wait to see if they try to break it out of range, because you get some responsive sellers regardless stepping in here. Just whether or not they're strong enough and got enough inventory to hold us down will be the question. So wait for the move to 55 and then watch how they print around 55.50. And if they, you see initiative, or if you see strong buying coming in, initiative buyers coming in at that point in time, then take the long in. But if we just come up here and we start chopping around here and you see two-sided action here, wait to see if they come back down and break below the 55 and then get short into that 53 and 52 area. Below 52, then I think you've got a really decent trade setting up to come down towards this 49.25 with the first targets below at the naked close at 50.25 and the naked depop from Thursday at 19.50. They rejected that level all day on Friday. If they let it go now on Monday, we're likely to come down and move. But the way that this is trading, I think we've got to wait for Tuesday, turn around Tuesday, to see a move down. But I'll trade what they give me, and a break below 52, I'll definitely get short because I need to work on my swing short because I'm going to, I don't have much theo left above us. Currently I've got my stop up at 67.25, and I'm worried about that holding. So once you're down, below the 52, then you've got to look for a move down towards this 49.25. So you have, 50.25, 50, and the bigger target and the main target below range and outside of value is this 49.25. With the other side of that, there really isn't much down here until you get to, I would say the midpoint. From the significant breakout candle, this candle right here. Oops. This candle right here on Thursday, the significant 50% retracement is down here at 48.25. So that would be the first area that I would look for them to come down and bounce from. And then, once we're, down in this 49 area, the other side of balance and the first area you want to watch is that 48, but you've got 47 below. What I'm really looking at, though, is there really isn't anything down here until you get to this 43.75, 43.25, and this 44 area low. So I'd be looking for this area as rotation down to test the other side of balance around the 49, and then below the 43.75, then your first target below is going to be the microcomposite of where they tried to hold value after making that first all-time new high down at 39.25 area, 39.25 to 1940 area. So I would use 1940 just to front run that a bit. And then there really isn't anything until you get down into this 37.38 area. And I would be using 37.25 because that's the value area low, and it's right there near the value area low from this microcomposite at 36. So I'd be using 37.25. And then below that, we got this, this ugliness down here with a whole bunch of, undetermined fair value, and I think you're going to see a lot of chop in this 34, with the key targets being the CHVN at 34, the CHVN at 31.25, and then the microcomposite down here at 29.50 again. Oh, come on. All right, and then there's really nothing below that until you get down to this this 24.50 value area low around that microcomposite VPOC of 29.50. And I don't think we're going to get down here today, but below that, the other side of that balance is 22.75. And then, we get below that, and I'm looking for a move down to that 1918.50, sorry, 1918.75, with the big number really down here at 14.50. With a little bit of minor resistance at that 1675, 1750 area. So that's what I'm looking at on the ES. Let's take a quick look at what it looks like on the Renko so we can see how they line up. All right. So, there's nothing, showing us direction on the Keltner. Our center line is going to be that 55.25, so there's that 55.50 range high. A break above the center line will then give you a move up into this 1960.75 Keltner channel high, and that'll give you the move to take out the overnight high. If we reject the center line of the Keltner, you can see a move down to test the lower line of the Keltner. Will take you down into that 1950 and a takeout of the naked VPOC and a break below Friday's range and into Thursday's range. So that all fits very nicely. Let's take a quick look at I'm going to do this differently because I'm running out of time. I'm going to have to start these sessions, sooner if I can't hurry up what I'm doing. So I've put what I see in the TF. So refer back to this. We're finding balance around 78.60 and accepted that price. We are currently trading at 1184.60 at the time when I wrote this. We hold above 1183. We'll be opening up outside of Friday's range. This means we have to be careful. Initial buyers stepping in on the open and continuing up towards the most traded price of Globex at 1184.80. If the initial buyers do step in and we do not test the range high from 1130, then look for a test up to the other side of that balance at 1185.50. Break above that will give you a move towards the overnight high in the Russell at 1188. This will actually define a continuation move with the first target above at 92. But the big target is the former microcomposite VPOC and CHVN at 95.90. If we go up there and accept that level back up to that 1195.90, that's where they were trying to hold after going up to that 1203.80 and making an all-time high. If we go up there and accept that again, look for a move into the 1200s with the first target above at the 1203.80, and then the rule of 10 kicking in for a move to 1210 with the second test into the 1200s. If we don't see initiative buyers on the open above Friday's range, then test the inside, that 83.80. I'd actually look for a test of the value area high. If they hold that and bounce, then you can take the long into those numbers above. But inside of that, look for a move to 1182.90 and a naked gap close at 82.40 with overnight low just below that at 82.30. A lot of confluence in that 82 to 81.50 area. First real support will be the value area from Friday at 1181. Below that, you could see move down to 1179.90, but most likely rotation back to see the microcomposite at 1178.60, as that puts us in a two-day balance range. The lower side of that value, around 78.30, is 77.20. Break below that, we'll probably test Friday's range low at 75.80 with the 2-day value area low just below that at 74.60. And this will be an area to hold. If we don't, then we get a drift lower into that distribution below, and it's very blunt with a lot of undetermined value, with 73, 71, and 69 being key levels, and then 67.50 being support, if not 65.20. And then next low below that support is all the way down at 63.40, and anything below that should move towards that 59.10, and the lower side of balance down at 11.50, 53.70. So, just taking a look at what that looks like quickly, because we're running out of time, you can see that we're holding above the CLVN at 84.50. Let me just bring this to, so we are going to be opening up out of range and out of value. So look for them to hold this 84.50. If they don't hold, then you could probably take a short into at least the 1183.80, if not the value area high at 1183.50. And then inside of that, you've got all kinds of targets in that 81 to 82. The LVN from the prior day is at that 81.70, and a break below that should give you a move down towards this balance for the 2 days at 1178.60, and all those numbers below. Just refer to that chart. But if we get back inside of value and below the LVN, then I'd be looking for a value area 80% rule to kick in and a test down to test this 1178, because it is the 2-day microcomposite VPOC as well. So you got a strong 80% play. But if we stay above this, look for them to take 96% probability of taking out this 1188 versus the 1182. So watch the range high for which probability for the overnight high or low to get taken out. Taking a quick look at gold. Gold has moved up. It's creating a flagpole formation. I'm expecting a continuation of chop inside of here. I want to see what the apex of the flag looks like. I think we got another 1 or 2 days. But if we do break above this 1122, look for a move up to test 32.80. The big number above us right now is actually all the way up here at 1346.40. Above that, I think we could get a continuation. We still have this 1378 area and 1366.90 area above us in this next distribution. But if we can't get above the range high and this week high right here at 22, what is it exactly? It is 22 exactly. 2250 on this one. So 2250 right at the CLVN right there. If we don't break above that, look for more chop. The line below us is down here at 1307. If we break below 1307, then I think we're going to come back into this distribution and come back to test the 50% breakout. And we've got our most accepted price going back to 2008 just below us at 1293, and the microcomposite VPOC just above it at 1294. So really below 1307, I think we test the 1300s and come back down into this area to see, we didn't really hold there, so we're liable to get dragged back down there because of the strength of this price acceptance in around 1293.94 area. So that's what I'm looking at, gang. As always, that will complete our morning pre-market homework session and trade plan setup. Trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.